over. But you never missed me till I got a fancy dress. Non-stop talker, what a rocker. Blue-eyed murder in a sci-fi dress. Change, nothing stays the same. Unchanged, and you hear the ground running. Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Unchanged, yeah, you hit the ground running. No, I don't ask for permission. This is my chance to fly. Maybe enough ain't enough for you, but it's my turn to try. But you never missed me till I got a fancy dress. Non-stop talker, what a rocker. Blue-eyed murder in a sci-fi dress. Change, nothing stays the same. Unchanged, and you hit the ground running. Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Unchanged, yeah, you hit the ground running. Change, nothing stays the same. Unchanged, yeah, you hit the ground running. Change, nothing stays the same. Unchanged, yeah, you hit the ground running. Woo-hoo! Take a look at this. Hey, man, that suit is you. Woo! You'll get some leg tonight for sure. Tell us how you do.
Come on, Dave. Give me a break.
Hey,
One break coming up.
Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Change, yeah, you hit the ground running. Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Change, yeah, you hit the ground running. Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Change, yeah, you hit the ground running. Change, ain't nothing stays the same. Change.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, yeah. What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome to Sunday Night Live, YouTube's longest running Tennessee Vols Sunday night. You want to call it a podcast? That's fine. Want to call it a live stream? That's fine. Want to call it a live show? That's fine. You just call it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. We take all comers here. We welcome mostly Vols fans, but we always and also accept the enemy. Bama, Georgia, Florida, you name it. Hell, we even got fans and visitors from out west, Oklahoma. That is out west from Tennessee. And we got a duck swimming around in the pond. He'll be joining us tonight. But it's Sunday Night Live. It's me and Philip doing our thing. And I hope you'll join us. And I appreciate the ones of you that already have. This and all live streams sponsored by South State Contractors, Crockett Enterprises, Everhart Transportation Incorporated, and my guy, Celine Driver. Go give him a sub. While you're out there subbing people up, why don't you also go give Vols Fanatic? He's right down here. He's right here in the back room waiting. See? He's right there. He'll be here in just a second. Give him a subscription. He does good work. He does the Lord's work for Tennessee, you could say. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description for Cash App and PayPal. Love those donations. Those come straight to my PayPal. Nobody gets a percentage. I get all of it. So I sure would appreciate it. And of course, super chats, and click that join button. Why not become a member? What's it going to cost you? Not much. guarantee you'll spend more on two items at the grocery store than you will on the second tier of joining this membership. Membership. Anyway, good to see you, and let's get her started. We got a big win to talk about last night. Tennessee 28, Kentucky 18. Still, after 8 games, have not allowed 20 points. I can't remember a time when Tennessee has gotten that far into the season, not allowed 20 points. But that time is now, and it sure is helping us out. You know, win's a win this time of year with this 12 team playoff. Survive and advance, baby. Ain't that right, Philip?
Dude, 7-1. I'd take it all day long.
There's not a great deal of other teams out there that are 7-1 right now. So I'll take it and roll with it.
The
Uh,
hell
uh,
happened to this kicker we got? What's this kicker? What is his deal?
I mean, kickers are head cases anyway.
This dude was not even 10 yards from making them. Like he's kicking them into the Tennessee River. I,
Yeah, I mean, up until this year, he was great, man. He was kicking the shit out of everything. You know what I don't understand, Philip? We got Josh Turbybill, who is, I think, a Knoxville product, kicking kickoffs. Can he not kick field goals? Hell, he kicks it straight on the kickoff. Let him kick a 50-yarder.
thank God this game didn't come down to a field goal or something like that. They better get
Yeah,
that fixed fast.
I think they will get out of his head and get him back in the damn game. We left, by my count, about 31 points on that field last night. We should have blown Kentucky out. I
Well,
mean, there was 3 drop passes for touchdowns and the 3 missed field goals. That's 31 points right there. What were you gonna
I don't
say?
I don't know why Nimrod's not as getting the reps he gets. He drops the ball all the time. I don't know why he gets the reps he gets. I'd be giving Mike Matthews those reps. That's just my take. But
Have we even seen him on the field?
no, he very rarely plays, and I mean, I'm afraid he's going to transfer. Honestly,
And
we got
Caleb Webb, there's another good one we could
yeah.
use.
I mean, Nimrod dropped just a wide open. I mean, Brazel did, and then Kitzelman dropped one in the end zone. He had the one that I can maybe give him a little bit of leeway just because he got blasted. But
Right.
but Brazel, I mean, it's perfect throw. He just drops it, and then the same thing with Nimrod. So
Well, Squirrels had some bad drops this year too, but not all of them were necessarily his fault. A couple of them that I can think of just off the top of my head were badly overthrown balls where he had to lay out and would have made. I mean, if he was 7 foot tall, he could have caught him. Short as he is, he had to lay out and bounce off the turf like a spring. It's a wonder he didn't get killed. He is hurt. I don't know how dinged up he is right now, but I think for this late in the season, we're in pretty good shape as far
I was
as.
surprised our rush defense had a bad night. They allowed Kentucky to have 168 yards rushing, and that was a bad Kentucky rushing offense too. They were in the hundreds as far as rushing offense in Kentucky. Of course, I think a lot of that was the quarterbacks getting out of the pocket and then our defense losing containment and them kind of running that way. It really wasn't as much just handing it off and them getting chunk plays that way. But
Yeah.
160, we only outgained Kentucky by like around 20 yards rushing. That surprises me.
Well, even when teams are in the midst of a shit season, they still find a way to come up with good games like this and put a scare into ranked teams' hearts. I know it put a scare into me last night. I think Haas called it a struggle win. It was definitely a struggle win. But
I just think that that's what this team is. This is what they are, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like they're going to flip a switch, play a complete game. You know, no
We've
stupid
been waiting all
turnovers.
year for that.
And this is who they are, man. They going to make every game interesting, no matter who they play.
Yeah, they couldn't have blown them out like Greenville did Friday night. Congrats to the Green Devils blasting Elizabethton and winning the district for the umpteenth year in a row. I've lost count now, honestly. Um, we win the district every year like New England used to win Super Bowls. It's amazing. So shout out to Eddie Spradlin and the guys over there. Um, doing a good job. Now it gets tough. Well, not now. The first game against Carter in the playoffs, that should be a cruise game. And then probably uh, second or third round, maybe we'll see Anderson County. That'd be third round. So yeah, our first two games are at home. Um, what's wrong with high school football, Hoss? Where do you think the college players come from? Anyway, yeah, Greenville just destroyed Elizabeth, and it was over before it started. Two pick sixes, um, an amazing Sports Center reception by who was that? I can't remember who it was. Um, one of our speedy wideouts had an amazing. I'm sure you didn't see it, Philip. Had an amazing catch. Took it right away from him. It was great, and then he went to the house, like 60 yards to the house. No, Jerry, I didn't go. I watched it on TV. It was one of the very few games that was televised, and too cold out there for my old ass, my old frail ass. We lost Philip. He'll be back here shortly. Um, yeah, that's right. Line him up, balls for life. That's not being a grammar police. That's just being the correct police. You can't forget that E, damn it. No, Hoghead, you shouldn't. And by the way, welcome, Hoghead. Good to see you, brother. I'm not taking Mississippi State for granted either. Are you, Philip?
No, I mean I don't think this Tennessee team's good enough to take anybody for granted, especially an SEC team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously we need to take care of business, but I mean, I don't think Mississippi State's going to be close, but who knows?
They they put us Mississippi State's 2-7 now. And after the Kentucky win last night, I think ESPN had us what 80% chance of making the playoff. It's pretty. It's pretty high.
The only scenario where I see them not getting in would be something like just a bunch of SEC teams being at 2 losses, and it'd be a log jam. So that could be a scenario.
That's that's kind of what I think. Um, at Logjam City, but the two best will emerge. If you had to call it right now, who would you say is going to be the top two in the SEC? I know there's a lot of games left.
Who's gonna play in the SEC championship game?
Yeah,
God, dude, that's a
it's
tough
hard to
question.
call it, isn't it?
I'm going to make Harry mad here because I know he disagrees with me. I think Ole Miss is going to beat Georgia next week.
Where is that game?
Ole Miss.
And that's next week. What time? 3:30 probably.
Probably.
Man, that's going to be good. What time do we play? Noon.
I have to look. I don't know.
I'm
I know
getting
it's not night game. I know it's not night,
yeah, I'm getting
but
tired of these night games.
yeah, it stays up. Now, I mean, I'm not confident in that pick. Obviously, if Georgia decides they want to play football, but man, I'm telling you, Carson Beck can't keep going out there and throwing 3 interceptions like he's doing.
Yeah,
Like
but
you're just not.
He'll play like a Heisman candidate against us.
Oh, I didn't say that Tennessee game. I didn't say that. I'm talking about Ole Miss. But Ole Miss, and here's the thing: if Ole Miss loses, they're out. Like they're against the wall. They can have no room for error. They have to win that game. So,
Yeah.
which if Georgia loses, it makes our life a lot harder too, because when we play Georgia, it'll be an elimination game for Georgia. So Georgia will have their back against the wall. So it won't help us. I hope Georgia beats Ole Miss.
It's a lot. It's a lot to think about, and it's a lot to try and sort out in your brain who needs to beat who needs to, you know, even who needs to lose. Um, yeah, I have to agree with all the skeptics before this 12-team playoff. This sure does suck, don't it?
I think that interesting thing too will be if Alabama beats LSU. I mean, I think if Alabama can get past LSU, the rest of the schedule should be cake, and they'll probably be in. Who? Let's talk about a team here real quick. That my God, man. Well, two teams. How about Vandy and South Carolina?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Vandy beating Auburn on the road. Yeah, that's impressive for Vandy. So shout out to you, Vandy Dandy. But South Carolina just dropped the hammer on A&M last night. I'm glad we don't play them this year.
Mm-mm. No.
But if score 20, we should win. So far that's the way things are working.
Yeah. The thing that surprised me about South Carolina is their offense has been bad. They put up 44 points against a good Texas A&M defense. So, it's I'm
Well,
surprised.
it was surprising, but then again, it wasn't surprising. They've stepped up against the best competition this year, and Carolina Jackpot ought to be happy over there.
Yeah.
What's the run some stats down on last night's game for us if you got any readily available?
Um Tennessee almost had more time of possession than Kentucky did. I think that's kind of interesting because
Look at
Kentucky's
here, got a Miami fan chiming in tonight.
hmm
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Philip.
No, I was just going to
Um,
say I think Kentucky had the ball 30 minutes and something, and Tennessee had the ball 29 minutes and something, which that's hard to do against Kentucky because Kentucky is one of the slowest teams. They're very slow. Where Tennessee is, of course, this year we've not been as fast, but um,
no, and every time we try to be, some asshole fakes an injury. It seemed like
yeah,
that
Kentucky's doing it
continued.
really bad. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they gave it the conference, basically, warned teams about doing it, and they did it again this week, like they didn't care. And so I
Well,
don't know
it's
how you
because they
police
know they
that.
can't do anything about it.
If you tell them to get down, kind of like the Vanderbilt or the Alabama game, where the coach told the player to get down, you can get it that way if it's blatantly obvious. But yeah, it's hard to police it if it's kind of it's interpretation.
Yep. My roommate John, well, you know John, he was watching the games with me yesterday, and we were talking about that. And it's like I I was like you. There's no way to police it. He's like, that's fucked up, man. It's cheating. I'm like,
Uh,
well, it's not cheating, but it's not very ethical.
well, we've talked about it on here before, and David disagreed with me, but I think he thinks there's no way you can do it. You can police it, but I think you somehow have to find a way if because this is the new football is going fast, playing at a fast speed, and these teams are obviously laying down. I think you've got to get them out the rest of the series. You've got to
At
be able to
least,
say
at
you're
least.
done. You're done then. So if you're an all-star and you go out, you're done the rest of that series. So,
But
and I
then
don't.
they'll just send scrubs out there to lay down. Kiffin will. He'll send his fourth string kicker out there to, hey, go out there and lay down. You know, they have to
Hmm.
stop play. But uh, the one thing we were talking about yesterday was maybe a series like you're talking about. Why not maybe the rest of the quarter, depending on when it happens? You know, there are
I wouldn't be
ways.
opposed to it. If you're really injured, you should not be back in the game. You're injured. That's the whole purpose. Like, I mean, there. I mean, you're supposed to be getting treatment. You're not supposed to be right back in the next play if you're really injured.
Right. Well, they'll either figure it out or they won't. It's that simple.
Well, it must be pretty
And
bad if the commissioner's talking about it. If the commissioner's made warrant, it must be. I think people are just getting pissed at the product that we're watching on every Saturday. This stuff. It's really making football less appealing to watch. You know.
Slim, I don't think anybody really is to determine if somebody is hurt or not. That's the thing about it, you know. If a guy's good enough at faking it and he's willing to, him and the coach are willing to sit out a series or maybe even the rest of the quarter, depending on what time in the quarter it happens, sit his ass out. That'll teach him. That'll teach the coach. Maybe, maybe not.
I
Maybe
just
it'll
don't
be.
understand how anybody could have anything against it. Like I don't. I've heard some people say, "Well, you just can't do that. It's not fair if a person really is injured." Well, if a person really is injured, they shouldn't be in the game anyway. They need to be out of the game.
Yeah.
If they're really injured, I mean, if I tweak my ankle, I shouldn't be in 2 plays anyway. I should be getting treatment. I should get my ankle taped. I should be doing something, not come in 2 plays. So.
Yeah, come in 2 plays and make a play of the game or something.
Hmm.
That's what's going to happen. We're going to see, if it hasn't already, we're going to see a guy lay down and then come in the next rep and make the damn play of the game. But I was proud of our defense again last night for, I hate to say this, keeping us in it. But that's what they did. They kept us in it because our offense was doo doo again. And they found a way to keep getting off the field and getting
They
us
said
another chance.
They said Heupel was pissed at Sampson for having that second fumble now. That's why he didn't let him come back in for, I think he was out 2 straight series after that fumble.
Uh,
And
I watched the
so
coaches show. I watched the coaches show today, and you wouldn't think by the way they talked and the way he talked today that he was pissed about D Samp. You know,
I
um,
don't know. I know
but
I was told that he made him get out 2 series over that. Just like kind of a, hey dude, you cannot be doing that. It's 2 games in a row. He's turned the ball over inside the 20. I mean, obviously, all the stuff he does greatly outdoes anything negative he does. And I mean, he's had an amazing year. I mean, it's just he's never fumbled, and now 2 games in a row he's fumbled inside the red zone. So
well, in his defense, and I know ball security is ball security, but both of those fumbles, the ball was ripped out of him.
I agree. That's a good point. I agree.
Um,
It
the
wasn't like
ba-
he was holding it badly. Yeah, out like a loaf of
yeah,
bread. Yeah,
the Bama fumble was way worse than the fumble
yeah,
last night, but it was still bad.
yeah.
I mean, that's like you said, it's the first drive of the game. It's our first drives of these last 4 games have been going great, and then derailed with either a bat. What did Nico throw an interception a few games ago? I think. Um, and then Sampson's had the 2 fumbles. That's the kind of shit that can cost you a game. But fortunately, it didn't, and we're here to be happy, and that's all that matters. So no AP top 25 today, right? Because the
I saw
playoff,
the coaches. I think the coaches came out, but I don't know about AP.
the playoff poll comes out Tuesday, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's the first one that'll be released.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are stupid because what's going on this week is not going to be going on the week of that they start it, but it's something for us to talk about anyway.
You know what happens if A&M wins the rest of their games? They beat Texas, gives Texas their second loss. A&M has 2 losses. Tennessee has 2 losses. Georgia has 2 losses. Ole Miss has 2 losses. That's a scenario that could very likely happen. And Alabama has 2 losses. Yeah, Alabama. You got 6 SEC teams. Not everybody's getting in, I don't think.
No, there's no way.
So, but I'm going to make people mad on here because I know we don't have SEC fans on here too. But and I know everybody loves the underdog story and the Cinderella story. I don't think Boise State has any business being in that college football playoffs. I just don't think you can't play Tusculum and Carson Newman all year and get to play in the playoffs. I just my opinion. I don't know.
Well, like we were talking about before the stream, Army's kind of in the same boat, but at least Army, I think, has played some good competition. Maybe not much, but I don't know. I'd hate to be in charge of trying to figure it all out.
Well, one thing, I'm so glad it's 12 teams instead of 4 because that 4-team format was really bad. It was really bad the way they were doing that one. That was, yeah.
Well, like we've all said a dozen times over, if it's 4 teams, 12 teams, or 64 teams, Team 65 is going to be crying. So there's going to be some crying going on when this is all said and done. But hopefully not by us. Hopefully we'll make it. And
well, I'll tell you what's going to make Tennessee fans pissed is if we're 10-2, and I do think if we're 10-2, I'm 90% sure we're in. But there is a chance we could be left out because I'm going to tell you, if Tennessee's 10-2 and Alabama's 10-2, I guarantee you they pick Alabama over Tennessee. Guarantee. I don't care.
I might have to bang my head against the wall if that happens.
Well, I mean, they will just because they're Alabama, and they'll get the benefit of the doubt, and even though Tennessee beat them head to head, of course Alabama does have the argument that they beat Georgia and LSU. They probably have a little bit better resume than Tennessee would as far as beating good teams. But I tell you what kills Tennessee too. How did we lose to Arkansas? How? They are awful. He gave up 700 yards to Ole Miss yesterday.
700 yards?
What? How did we lose to them? You could put a bunch of nuns on a football team and they could beat Arkansas. What are we doing?
Philip, we were really close to saying the same thing about Kentucky. Because I remember texting you last night. I think it was about halfway through the third quarter. And I said, "Are you worried yet or scared yet?" And you were like, "At this point, I'm just pissed." And it is angering, But like you said
the field
earlier,
goal kicks. Yeah. The field goal kicks were really what were ticking me off. Like the touchdown drops were pissing me off too, but the field goals were just ridiculous. Like, dude, that's what your job is. And you're not even close. Like, what is he doing? He's got to get out of there if he can't do better than that. They've got to get somebody else in there because that's pathetic. I mean, and those were like 30 to 40-yard field goals. I mean, he has to make those field goals.
I mean, that's an argument, Hoss. I mean, that's an argument. But
they were better because, one, we didn't show up. Two, coaches had just an absolute piss poor game plan for that game. They were not ready. Sampson was on record saying we really didn't do anything in the off week. We kind of
Yep.
So they weren't even ready to play that week.
Hell, Heupel even said something about it going into this bye week because he said hopefully we can, well, whatever his wordage was, we can prepare better on this bye week than we did before the Arkansas game. And I couldn't prove it by me, but still, they won the ball game, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
I
At the
do.
end of the day,
I do think our offensive line is pass blocking better, don't you? I will say that. I don't know if
yeah.
that's because of the competition or they're just getting better. You know,
I mean, look, Kentucky. We all know that we own Kentucky. Okay, that's a given. We've beaten them. I've been following Tennessee for, well, just say my whole life, 57 years. Of course, you got to save the first 7 or 8 for being a kid, but they've beaten us, I think, 3 times in my lifetime. So, if you remember that video last year from the Kentucky sports radio guy flipping out after losing to Tennessee,
yeah.
every Kentucky fan is feeling like that. And they get so close so many years, and boom, it gets snatched away from them. It almost not hurts your feelings, but it almost makes you feel bad for them.
I don't feel sorry for any Kentucky fans at
No,
all.
I don't
They're
either.
they're the worst. I might dislike them more than I do Florida fans. I said might. I didn't say I did, but they're up there in the Florida category. Bama fans, for the most part,
Damn.
are pretty classy. For the most part, not all that I've come across. They're pretty knowledgeable. But the Florida fans, Kentucky fans, oh God, I'd pull for Russia before I pulled those two.
Well, the same could be said for Georgia and LSU. There's
Georgia's pretty
douchebag.
bad too.
There's douchebag fans with every fan base. We got plenty of
They
them.
are. Trust me.
Uh,
Did I tell you the story about my wife is a Gator fan, and I took her to the game with me. Did I tell you that story?
I think you did about something. Tell me again, but
So I've took her to several games, but she is a Florida fan, which she's not really a very avid fan. I mean, she can't even tell you who they play week to week. But when they play Tennessee, since I'm a Tennessee fan, she puts her Florida stuff on, right? But anyway,
right.
we went to the game back in 2016. That was the year we snapped like a 12 game losing streak or something like that to them. And we're first off, we won the game. So why are you mad? Why are you mad? Like it didn't even like Florida beat us. We won. So my wife she's 5 foot tall. I'm 6'3". So when I walk, even if I'm taking half steps, she can't keep up with me. So as we're walking out of the stadium, like I just maybe get a couple feet in front of her. Well, they were like guys, like talking shit to her, like being mean. And I'd make like an immediate U-turn and say, "That's my wife. You got a problem?" And got right up in their face, so we can fix this right now. And they're, "Oh no, dude, she's with you." And I'm like, "Dude, she's 5 foot tall and she's a girl. What are you doing? Are you stupid?"
Yeah.
That's a Tennessee fan. That is a Tennessee fan. I mean, people are idiots everywhere, and that's a Tennessee fan for you.
Well, first of all, people our age don't need to be throwing hands anyway. I mean, our fighting days are long since behind us. I know you're still a big dude and you're still fit, all that good stuff. But I'm with you, man. You can't be letting somebody dish your wife, especially right there in front of you.
Well, he didn't know
So
he was with me because she was a little bit behind me, only a couple feet.
yeah,
And then when he
yeah.
found out that she was, he really realized he didn't want no part of that.
Speaking of 5 foot tall girls, quack quack.
Oh God.
That's wow.
That
Come in
was
with
What
rough.
an
that.
introduction.
That
What
was
an
terrible, wasn't
introduction. Damn.
Man,
Damn. Damn.
man, I come on here and you call me a girl? Man, I
I
hope
apologize, David. That was
I
not very
appreciate.
nice of me.
Yeah, I'll take DJ Dumbo over being called a girl any day of the week.
Nah, I'm not picking on you for that.
I know I'm teasing, but no. How y'all doing today, boys?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. We're saving off that number one curse. I heard this number one is cursed, but we're not having any problem with it. So we'll keep holding on to it for a while, I guess.
Yes, it's a target for sure, but as fans, I think we get more nervous about that shit than the players do.
Yeah.
I can't see Oregon players sitting in the locker room before the game going, "Oh God, we're number one. They're coming to get us." You know, um, these guys just go take care of business for the most part. You guys talk for a second. I'm gonna try and do something that I cannot figure out.
All right.
David,
Yeah, I
did
don't
you watch
know.
that? Did you watch that Penn State game?
I did. I was rooting for Ohio State.
Yeah, I can see why, because you already beat them, so it makes your resume look better.
Well, that, and I wanted. You probably know this. If Penn State, Oregon, and Indiana had all won out and been 12-0, Oregon would have been left out of the Big Ten title game. So I was rooting for somebody to lose. I don't care who it was, but it just happened to be Penn State. So I don't feel one bit bad for them either.
So
But
educate me on this. Why would you have been left out on that
because
if
of a
everybody?
certain, I don't know the exact tiebreaker. I haven't committed that to memory because I thought it was so crazy that it wasn't going to happen that I just but I knew there was a scenario that 3 or 4 tiebreakers down, Oregon would have been the odd team out based off some silly tiebreaker the Big Ten's got. It's like differential points of common opponent or something like that. And since Oregon had only beaten Ohio State by 1, the likelihood that if Penn State and Indiana had beaten Ohio State, they would have beaten them by more than 1. So they would have beaten Ohio State better than we would have. So that's why Oregon would have been left out.
What a wild year too. Indiana's undefeated. Vanderbilt is only lost 3 games and they've won 6 games. I think that's right. They might have just
Yeah,
lost 2 games,
they're
but
bowl eligible.
they're bowl eligible. You know that for Vanderbilt, I'm switching it up on you, but going back to the SEC real quick. But Vegas had Vanderbilt as their win total at over under at 3, and they're already at 6. So that's pretty amazing. But I don't know what Indiana's was of their over under on as far as their win total.
Probably not much more than that. Probably 6, 5.5, probably right there. If
Yeah,
I had to guess, but
Was Indiana on a bye this week, right?
no,
no, they
they
won.
beat the soul out of Michigan State. Soul and will to live out of Michigan State.
Michigan
40,
State, yeah.
40. It's funny stat. That is the first time Indiana has trailed all season. They trailed 10-0, and they rattled off 47 straight points.
So who's Indiana got left on their schedule?
The only game left that's a pulse is Ohio State.
Where's that at?
In Columbus.
I think it's in Columbus.
Ohio State should win, but I don't know.
They should, but they probably will find a way to lose. It's good old Ryan Day. The only team he can beat is Penn State. It's the only big game he can win.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's because James Franklin is somehow worse in big games. So,
which is hard to imagine, isn't it?
I mean, Ryan Day gets all this smoke, and I'm not here to defend Ryan Day one bit, but Ryan Day gets all this smoke for not being able to win. Sorry if I.
No, it's. I just go ahead.
No, you're fine. So Ryan Day gets all this smoke for not being able to win the big game, but yet James Franklin has not maybe beat him one time in 10 tries, whatever they won in 2016.
2016, yeah.
And that's it. They've lost 8 straight to them. And it's like, what's James Franklin's excuse? Like, this was supposed to be the year Penn State did something because they finally got out from the divisions. They don't play Oregon. They don't play Michigan. They play Ohio State, and there was another game that they won that was kind of a big deal. Anyway, this was supposed to be Penn State's year. They beat Nebraska or something like that early in the season.
Yeah, I'm like you. I can't remember who it was, but they beat us somebody.
So now, if they don't make the Big Ten title game, they could be. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the schedule is like, but if James Franklin finds a way to not make the playoffs, I mean, I don't know who Penn State goes and hires, but like, You can't be finishing third every year, and now you got Oregon in there. You're going to be fourth.
That can't be that bad a job either at Penn State, because you remember when that Joe Paterno thing came down, Bill O'Brien got that thing turned around pretty fast, even after all the, I think, was it sanctions and all the
Yes.
junk that they had. So it's
Well, and
definitely a job you can win big at.
and he's over there yelling at fans like that's going to do anything. He's calling fans out of stands to come down and give him his name on the field and hollering at people that are hollering at him. It's like, you don't give the hecklers a stage. You turn your ears off and you keep going.
Speaking of giving the heckler the stage, Hoss again gets the stage for a second. I don't know if anybody's told you or not, but yeah, we're not professionals around here. We don't claim to be professionals. We're not.
Man,
We're definitely not getting a professional salary. So if I want to fiddle with my glasses or my picker or anything else during the
Whoa.
live stream, I'll do it. How about
the
that?
day BBD doesn't say let y'all can talk while I'm going to fiddle with something is the day the stream doesn't exist. I mean, that's why you come to the BBD streams. You're going to hear fiddle, you're going to hear thinking, you're going to hear something. So
We're gonna call a guy a girl.
Yeah,
you just don't know.
I mean, you can sit around and be someone's friend and talk to him before the stream, and then you get brought on by being called a girl. You know, it is what it
Man,
is.
that was harsh, man. That was harsh.
But see, I'm not offended, Haas, because me and BBD are buds. He didn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't bother you either. Balls for life, but I get it. Some people, just aren't everybody's cup of tea. And
but is Vandy Dandy in here? Please tell me Vandy Dandy's in here.
I haven't seen him yet tonight.
Well, if he still thinks Vandy can beat Oregon, I would like to take his money.
I don't think he's that stupid.
Well,
Vandy beat Auburn yesterday, and Auburn beat them all over the box score, but they still outscored them 17-7.
Well, you know why that
got
is.
the job done. Yep.
Diego Pavia, whatever his name is, he's got the Hugh Freeze card. He can't lose to Hugh Freeze. He beat him at Liberty, he beat him at Auburn last year, and he beat him at Auburn this year. He's beat him 3 straight years in a row.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I heard he was 3-0 against Hugh Freeze, and I was wondering where I knew he beat him at New Mexico State and now Vanderbilt. I was wanting to know where that other one was.
It was when Hugh Freeze was at Liberty and they beat him that year.
Was he at New Mexico State there
too?
Yes. Okay.
And
let's see if we can squeeze this guy in here without any trouble. What's up, Harry?
Gentlemen.
Hey, Harry.
What up, Leg?
Congrats on y'all's victories yesterday.
We'll take them.
I mean, is Carson Beck ever going to quit throwing interceptions?
Just throw a dart right out of the gate, David. It's not like he came in here and called you a girl or something.
I mean, George has been king of the mountain long enough. It's time to bring him down a few pegs.
I don't. That's he's not bothering me in the least. Look, if you could read 1/10 of the venom and bile that has been spewed on our private channel, holy Jesus Christ!
What are they saying, Harry?
Any and everything. Fire Bobo, bench Beck. It just runs the gamut.
Are they calling him a girl?
No, everybody is accusing his girlfriend of being his problem.
Well,
some of them probably call him a girl.
She's that girl.
Calls him a girl. I don't want to hear him cry.
Well, y'all know he dates that one of those twin volleyballers from Miami.
No, unfortunately, I'm not.
I know it is.
I'm not able to keep up with my Carson Beck dating scene. Sorry, I've been.
Those girls are all over the news.
Well, step your game up, duck boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not on my Twitter thread. Sorry.
I think they're on Instagram, and their last name's like Cavalier or something. I think they play basketball. They played at Miami.
It's the Cavendish twins.
Yeah.
Slim.
Passably cute.
You are certainly welcome to come in here and bring another undefeated opinion to the conversation.
But I
That
think
way we'll have 2 undefeated guys coming in.
I was just gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
I was just gonna say we talked about this a minute ago, and since Harry's in here, I want to hear what he has to say too. But I'm just not impressed with anybody in the SEC right now. I just don't look at anybody and go, man, they're that team right there, they're unbeatable. This is maybe I don't know what it is, but nobody looks great to me.
You know, some of that can be attributed to the wear and tear of each week, accumulating over the course of the season. Other parts of it could probably be attributed to the fact that uh, we all got warts and moles. And no, we don't have a clearly dominant team in the SEC this year. At least not yet.
No.
There's been for a game or two you thought it, but nobody sustained it yet.
There's still time to work it out too. I mean, we got some huge games left across the conference, and it's all gonna hopefully it'll all work itself out this last few weeks.
Well, it's going to be a bloody November. It started
Yeah.
out already. So, Red Cross will be at standby. Bodies will drop.
Well, a bad case scenario for Tennessee is if, like, for example, Georgia stubs their toe at Ole Miss, and then Georgia beats Tennessee in Athens, and then you got Ole Miss, Tennessee, and you got maybe A&M, Alabama, a big log jam there at 10-2, and you're going to have a huge issue getting all those teams in. That's going to be a nightmare scenario.
You're not
So
getting
I
them all
hope
in.
Georgia.
You're not. You're gonna
Exactly.
Someone's gonna get left out.
I agree. But
There's going to be some crying.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I hope Georgia beats Ole Miss this week. I hope they eliminate Ole Miss. But
I heard what you said earlier.
no, I hope Georgia wins. I want Georgia to win. That's just my personal opinion, but I'm praying Georgia wins.
Slim, you're sitting over there looking good undefeated.
Hey, I don't have to worry about scenarios or who wins and loses. Just want to know every week, and you're on easy street.
facts. That's what I was gonna say. I don't care who wins and who loses as long as my teams want to know. That's all I care about.
Yes, Slam, y'all's job looks like your future is cleared up considerably after the weekend. Now it's just you and SMU without a conference loss.
Yeah.
God,
Now that could still change. SMU still got. It's not a high likelihood, but they could stumble their toe somewhere. And I've said it before about Miami. I've been watching them lose to teams they shouldn't for the better part of 15 to 20 years. So I'm not going to call that they won't either.
Yeah.
Slim
Yeah.
might be suffering for a little bit of battered hurricane syndrome, like Tennessee fans,
Well, there's a kryptonite for that. It's called Cam Ward, and he's cured all that.
He definitely is helping. And it's a little weird, too, because, even we were really good in 2017, and we started off like 6-0, 7-0 in 2014. Those were defensive-led teams. So it's got me a little off-kilter being an offensive-led team for a change.
And we're just the exact opposite of that, Slim. It's gotten me kind of off-kiltered seeing us dominating everybody we played so far on the defensive side of the ball, save for Arkansas. But even Arkansas didn't score 20 on us.
Yeah.
What was the score?
Yeah,
of that
it
game,
is odd.
What's that?
The Arkansas game that we lost, what was the score?
Was it 19-14?
I believe you're right, yes.
Yeah.
The worst, I really believe, might be a little bit dramatic, but that might have been the ugliest college football game since like 1890, since football was been invented. That was the worst football game I've ever seen in my life.
God. This guy hasn't watched a Iowa game in the last 10 years.
No.
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
I said I was being a little bit dramatic.
Hold on.
Yeah, Kirk Ferentz said, "You want to go back to the 1800s with football? Hold my beer."
Hey. We literally have a game in our history called the Toilet Bowl. It's a 0-0 tie with Oregon State. There were like 40 punts and like 16 different turnovers or something crazy like that. So until one of y'all have a game like that, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, but when was that?
Oh, God. 19 something.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, the one time, and me and David actually got on this conversation on Twitter. The one time Miami and Oregon played, it was a 2-0 game back in the 50s.
Yeah.
There's some info for you.
Man, Slim, did you, not to bring it on to me or anything like that, but I have to bring it up just sparingly. I posted a picture of me at the bar, and all I said was, I tweeted, I was like, I'm hammered, and I'm not kidding. 15,000 people have retweeted that or liked it, or it blew up.
Yeah, I did. I was one of them. I saw it. Yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, I tweeted it out randomly. I didn't put a hashtag in there. I didn't tweet at anybody. And I woke up the next morning and my phone was lit up with I couldn't believe it. I was just like, well, I did not expect that to go viral, but it sure did.
It's the things you don't expect that do.
I gained like 10 different followers from it. I was just like, oh, what? I couldn't believe it.
Hey.
It was silly. It was silly.
What are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do? I guess I'll post more drunken pictures of myself and see what happens.
That's a solution.
Man. Yep. Anyway, it's a good day to be undefeated. #1 team in the country. We're all having a good time over here.
Where are you at now, Slim? Like the holding steady up there around number 4, number 3?
No, I'm at home.
No, I meant your team.
In the rankings.
Oh, I think they're number 4.
They're number 4 behind. It goes Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Miami, I think is what it is.
Yeah. Which I mean, whatever. Somebody asked me if I had a problem with that. I was like, not really. Because number 1, I mean, in the era of the playoff poll, and really the BCS started this. Does the AP poll really even matter?
Not starting Tuesday. It doesn't.
Yeah. So
yeah. So you might as well say not starting last week.
Yeah. Well, and even then, the playoff poll doesn't really matter because, like we said, if Miami continues to win, they're going to be in one of those top 4 spots regardless.
Right.
Uh-oh. BVD kicked himself out.
Momentarily.
Now he came back with no sound. I'm cussing Taylor for doing that to me. That happens.
Oh, that was good.
That happens quite frequently. That's what happens when you share something with a buddy.
Well, listen, if they don't mess with you, it means they don't like you.
Well, I don't think he was messing with me. He just, last time he streamed, he left his avatar up there, which is fine. It's fixable.
I'm with you though. It is a little. I didn't have on my bingo card that Tennessee would be a defensive-led team.
Nobody did.
I had a lot of guys back, and the defense was improving all year last year. At least I thought it was.
Well, sure, but and I'm not saying to the extent.
Same for South Carolina. You could see it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying to the extent of Lincoln Riley, because I think he just hates defense. But I think the average person would have assumed that Tennessee would have still been an offensive-led football team.
Yeah, especially if you watch the first 2 games. Had everybody on the planet thinking this offense was something revolutionary, scoring 50, 60 points a game. It's going to happen all year long. Shit.
Yeah, well, and I said that, and David may have been in a Twitter space when because we hang around some of the same Tennessee fans on there. I was like, when you're playing that competition, I said the same thing for Miami. Those numbers just aren't sustainable because you're not going to sustain that level of competition.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I scored more points against Michigan than I did Idaho. That's a weird phenomenon.
What was the final yesterday, David?
38-17, and it was kind of a. We've talked about backdoor covers where a team scores a late touchdown and they end up covering the spread. This was a front door cover, I guess you would call it, because Oregon was up 14 with the ball with a minute left, and Dan went right down the field and he punched it in with 30 seconds left to go up 21. So I don't know if Dan meant to score there, if he was just trying to run out the clock. But our running back ran right through the line and scored a touchdown to cover the 14.5. So
I think what that was is Michigan's defense finally gave, because I mean, let's be honest. Up to that point, points have been hard to come. I mean, Michigan made you fight for every yard you got in that game. I'll give Michigan that much credit.
they sure did.
They did not roll over. That was a hard fought game.
Yeah, I felt bad. I kind of felt bad. I was just, I mean, I'm not one for sympathy, but at the same time, it's like they had 30 seconds left in the game. So
I don't think anybody expected Michigan to roll over in that game, but I think everybody pretty much knew that Oregon was going to go in there and hammer them.
Well, and if you watch the game, it was never a time where, Oregon might lose this game. No, it was never a time like that. Were they stingy? Yeah, but Oregon was never in that game. Was never in.
Yeah. Well, and people disagreed with me, but I felt the same way about the Duke game. I mean, after you're down 25, an 11-point deficit does not really seem that bad at all.
Right.
And even after, I mean, we gave them the ball on the 30-yard line by dropping a punt, and they scored there, and everyone's like, oh, that's why you don't turn the ball over. I'm like, dude, they scored from the 30-yard line. If that's what it takes for them to score a touchdown, great.
Right.
They had one decent drive on us. One. And they went and got a touchdown out of it.
And I find it funny, and people are ragging on Miami's defense, and rightfully so. They've got their problems. But really, in that Duke game, they played one bad quarter. Outside of that second quarter where Duke came alive and our secondary played like our secondary has for some points this year, Miami gave up 17 points for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So how many ACC teams do you think are getting in, Slim?
Probably 2, if I had to guess.
Clemson got bounced yesterday, right, by Louisville?
Yeah, but I don't think they're out of the playoff discussion yet. I mean, kind of to your point and Fanatic's point earlier, much like Alabama, that Clemson name carries some weight. And a 10-2 Clemson team will be right there, I think.
We're going to have a ton, I think, of 2-loss teams going into this thing. And so that's why it's going to be, somebody's going to be crying worse than the loser of the election. And there's going to be some crying going on there. So
as long as you have the undefeateds remaining undefeated, then winning means even more to those with a loss. You start doing the math, because Indiana don't play nobody, but they're undefeated. They do have Ohio State, though.
Yeah.
If they beat Ohio State.
Well, I've looked at it like this. I think, and I said this during the offseason, I think you're probably going to get 3 teams each from the SEC and the Big Ten. I think you're going to get 2 from both the Big 12 and the ACC. And then Group of 5, obviously, because they get an automatic bid. And I don't like this. I'm not for it, but I think a 10-win Notre Dame is as much of a lock as a conference winner.
A 10-win Notre Dame is not getting in. They have to run the table.
No, that's just based off of where the committee's
fight. Let's go.
Based off of where the committee has ranked Notre Dame before with 2 losses. I'm going to disagree with that. Notre Dame with 2 losses in 2017 was inside the top 10.
They lost to Northern Illinois.
The only thing is that Northern Illinois, it hurts them.
And I agree. But I also don't think there's another team on there. I don't see another loss on Notre Dame's schedule.
What did I misspell, Ghost? I'm missing it here. Help me out. What did I misspell?
Well, Notre Dame always has 1 loss, right?
Right.
Yeah, but they could
Oh.
lose to Army. They could lose to Army.
You
If
talking
they don't
about
lose,
that?
if they win out, they're in.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Correct.
win
2
Well,
losses.
I
Yeah.
think they could lose to Army and they still may be in, just because I think once again, like Clemson, like Alabama, that Notre Dame name carries weight.
I do think a lot of politics is involved in this. It's not the best team. It's best viewership, fanfare, who travels. I really believe a lot of that crap goes into it.
Well, you know,
Wait a minute.
I tend to agree with you. Yeah.
Time out here. What the hell did I even title it? I got major concerns going on here. What did I title this thing? Tennessee continues to own Kentucky. I didn't misspell anything.
Maybe he's saying Squid misspelled something.
No, I think they're saying that. I think, and I knew this was going to happen when I put it up there. Pierce. They think they think I spelled that wrong, but I didn't. I spelled it exactly right.
Yeah, that's intentional.
So,
but to that point, I also think that saying the best 12 teams, it's a great talking point, but that's a completely subjective statement. You know, you ask 12 different people, you're going to get 12 different answers on who the 12 best teams are. So,
details.
yeah, that's why conference winners are getting in. There has to be some objective standard to it.
Oh, damn it.
somewhere.
You got me, Squid.
Get up.
Yep. I guess there is no such word as cotinues. I guess it doesn't matter at this point either.
No, not really.
It doesn't. It's not going to.
But if you're looking that hard for something to complain about, well, I'm just going to say,
Squid. Why
you're the one with a problem.
Criticizing me anyway, Squid? What's up with that? Come on now. You know I'm half-tarded.
Smack him around some more, BVD.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You tell him not Hoss. This is not a professional gig around here. So you live with what you're dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
There. They continue to pierce Kentucky right in the ass. I wonder what those radio guys were doing last night for Kentucky Sports Radio. I wonder if they were pitching another fit. I haven't looked to see.
They were.
How did you guys like Kentucky's helmets?
I didn't have a problem with them.
Why would we? Honestly, I mean,
my opinion when it comes to uniforms of the week, Army won. I was a big fan of Army's uniforms, especially those helmets with the skull and crossbones on them.
The shitty peel-ons? Oh, those looked awful.
The shitty what? The shitty what, David?
The peel-on. They looked like cheap Halloween stickers stuck on a black helmet. They did not look good.
My opinion.
It was the skull and crossbone helmet, right?
Yeah. It looked bad. It didn't look well done. It's
done in matte black finish anyway, so it's not going to be flashy.
Right.
It just looks like
and I'm a fan of matte black. That's why I like it.
Oh,
I like it too. I got a mini helmet for that Army. Army helmet.
That's why I wish Miami would quit changing up their blackouts. Like, I like the original one, because their original one that they debuted back in 2017, I think it was, came with a matte black helmet. I was a fan.
I loved what Oregon wore. That was a great look.
Those uniforms yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Those were terrible. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm with BVD on that. They're terrible.
They are terrible. Too much decoration.
Oh no! what have we come to? The hating is all time high here.
The West Coast teams tend to like all that.
Oh yeah,
All that
I
pomp
know.
and circumstance and be flashy and we got 84,964 uniform combinations. Who cares?
Yeah, and Philip Knight or whatever his name is. Phil Knight. Ain't that the guy that owns Nike?
Yep,
Yes,
that is
sir.
correct, sir.
Yeah, and he's basically got Oregon in his hip pocket.
And billions of dollars still can't buy you a national title. God.
Oh my God, Slim. I thought we were friends. Now you're.
We are, buddy.
Oh,
Listen, I'm just pointing out that Oregon may or may not have the most unironic logo in all of college football.
Until Dan wins.
Allegedly.
Until Dan wins this one here in the next 5 years.
Till he wins what?
Until Dan wins us a national championship here in the next 5 years.
What about this year?
I mean, this year would be in the next 5 years.
Well, yeah.
It's certainly possible.
Yeah,
It's
possible.
I think we're the best team in the country right now, today. Are we going to be the best team in the country? Are we going to be the best team in the country in January? That's the question.
Fire up the scoreboard, bench bar. Philip.
Where did Philip go? He disappeared.
Tell me why Tennessee cannot win a national championship.
Do what now? Rephrase that question.
Tell me why Tennessee cannot win a national championship this year.
Because we can't score more than 7 points in the first half.
Yeah, but we seem to take care of it in the second half.
But that's against Alabama's one team that's decent, but the rest have been very subpar. If you play that way against a team like Oregon in the playoffs, Ohio State, Miami, you're done. You're gone. You're.
What if our defense keeps us in it though against Oregon or Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean they could keep us in it. That's asking a lot.
I agree that Tennessee's defense would slow down Miami, but you're not going to hold. They're not going to hold Miami under 20 like they are some of these other teams.
I agree.
Probably not.
I agree.
Like I don't think we would drop 50 on them like we did, Louisville or Duke. I don't think that at all. Tennessee's defense is way better than them.
We're probably never going to find out because I don't think Tennessee's going to see Miami this year. Although I'd like that, but
oh yeah, I would too. I think that would be a good matchup, honestly.
It would be interesting for sure. Just for my money, just to see if we could hold Miami to under 20. Even Ohio State, to hold that team under 20s, asking a lot. But some people have done it this year. And if some people can do it, we can do it. But I guess we got to get there first. National champion picks for this year, this early.
Oh, Miami wins it all, 16-0.
Oh, wow.
Well, don't dick around. Just, throw a name out there and see if it sticks. And Miami could stick.
It could. I'm not betting a single red cent on it, but it could.
I don't bet anyway, so I wouldn't bet, even if I had a surefire winner in my pocket.
Well, I've been known to put some money down on football games every week, but I never bet on my own teams. Call it superstition, whatever.
Oh, no, that's just, superstition, nothing. That's just smart, if you ask me. I mean.
Well, and I mean, you know me. I try and be honest about them. Like I said, Miami still has things to prove to me. Okay, you beat Duke, and I've seen you lose to them in the past. But you just lost to Georgia Tech last year, and you have them next weekend. So
shouldn't be much problem for you this year.
I wouldn't think so, but I also didn't think that last year either. So there's that.
It's a very astute observation, bench bar. In fact, it almost makes me wonder, who is this person that knows what I can do with this wheelchair? Is it someone close to me? Or is it someone, I don't know. Who are you, Bench Bar? Come in here and share your thoughts. Let's hear your football thoughts. We know your thoughts on my smoking. Uh, I want to hear your thoughts on some football. The link's up there if you want it. He ain't gonna take it though.
Hey, BBD, I'm
I'm
going to drop off here a little early, brother, okay?
Do what now?
I'm about to get off here a little early tonight, okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll see you
Give me
gentlemen
a
later.
give me a Mississippi State
Yes, sir.
score. Well, we can do that Tuesday.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
Take
see
care,
you,
man.
brother.
See ya.
See ya.
I'm curious to what everybody thought was the biggest upset of the weekend. And I'll kick that one off. I must say I was surprised. Not only did I not have Texas A&M atop the SEC, but I did not have South Carolina beating them on my bingo card either.
I had South Carolina winning the game, not by 24 points, but I thought South Carolina could win that game by 7 or 3 points, something close, but not by 24. Not by 24.
Well, I
I didn't.
expected a low-scoring affair because I thought the strength of both teams were their defense.
Well, technically, it was a low-scoring affair for Texas A&M. They only scored 20 points.
Yeah.
And the little quarterback found out that it's hard to get going against a really good defensive front because he didn't face that against LSU. They ate him alive, buddy.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed with that quarterback because he only passed 2 times in that LSU game, and everybody crowned him as like this great player. And I'm just like, I mean,
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah.
we'll see. And then we saw. So,
Well, I think South Carolina is a good enough defense where you can't be that one-dimensional.
yeah, they might have the best defensive line in the country, and it's a shame that they don't have a better offense because,
Yeah.
man.
It's funny, talking about South Carolina, and Florida's kind of in this boat too. Like, we were wondering before the season started, was Shane Beamer or Billy Napier going to be fired first? And honestly, I would say at this point, both of them need to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
If Billy Napier keeps his job, that is an insane thing that happens.
I don't think so, because I think that Georgia game is proof that the team is bought in and they're rallying around Billy.
They played well yesterday for the most part.
I mean, Mr. Harry, would you agree that if DJ Lagway doesn't go out of that game, that there's a good chance Florida wins?
I still don't think they win with him because of adjustments that were in the process of being made when he got hurt. You kind of have to let, when you play somebody with his abilities, same would be for Lenore Sellers, a big guy who can throw and run. You've got to kind of feel him out a little bit before you drop the hammer on him. And I kind of feel like that's what we were doing yesterday, was just waiting to see if our secondary could blanket the receivers well enough to start, forcing his hand. And all in all, it's acceptable. Getting out of there with a win is exactly what we had to do.
I think it's entirely possible that Billy finishes this season with 6 or 7 wins, and against that schedule with what everybody thought preseason, yes, he should absolutely keep his job.
They got to go to Austin next week. Lagway's got a hammy, so I don't expect him to play. That's a tall order. They're 17.5 point dogs.
Well, they're at 5 wins already, and I think we can pencil in Florida State as a win, because I'll definitely give Florida this much credit. Unlike Florida State, they're playing better than they were at the beginning of the year.
Oh, hell yeah. I take Florida.
Who did Florida State lose to yesterday?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Beat us
How bad?
38-11.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they hit 40, but yeah, and it was high 30s, 40s to 11.
My, how the mighty have fallen.
And I don't feel one bit bad.
Nah, I'm not shook up about it a bit. I know Slim's tore all to hell about it.
Well, I'll say this, and I said this in a somebody's show, I think it was Pete's, before the game. With Florida that bad, or Florida State that bad, I really had a hard time getting up for that game. You know what I mean?
There are worse things than dominating your rival.
There are, yes. I mean, I watched us lose to Middle Tennessee State, so yes, there are much worse things. But that's a game like I look forward to. I get fired up for, and it's just real hard to when Florida State's coming into that game at 1-6.
If Oregon beats Washington 70-0, I'm going to feel the exact same if we won 24-23.
Well, I get it because Washington has owned Dan Lanning.
I mean, that's a strong wording, but you're not completely wrong. 3 wins in a row. So
it still doesn't change the fact that Huck the Fuskies is live.
Huck the Fuskies is live.
Yeah, y'all are 3 in a row. You're approaching, and Lanning might be approaching Ryan Day syndrome.
You know, oh no! Oh, absolutely not! Oh no! That is treachery, man. I am just taking a beating in this space today. I'm being called a girl. We got Slim saying something earlier, and now you're saying that Dan Lanning's the next Ryan Day.
Get the hell off the fucking internet. Quit jerking your McGurkin.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
And that's something else. And BVD knows this. I am by no means an Ohio State sympathizer. I think they anything bad that happens to them is well deserved. But this talk of trying to run Ryan Day out of Columbus may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, when you're frustrated, but come on.
Yeah, that's pretty potato.
Who are you going to get that's going to do any better?
There is literally no coach in college football with a better winning percentage than Ryan Day.
That's true. Except he's 0-2 against Oregon. He's never beaten Oregon. And we're the only team not named Michigan that he's lost to in the regular season.
Yeah.
Well, fuck.
What?
Oh, I swear, VicTube cussing is like my 2-year-old cussing. It's the cutest thing you ever saw.
He missed it.
Hold on.
Well, fuck.
Did you hear it?
I hope I heard it now.
Did you hear this?
Shut the fuck up, dumb fuck! I'm trying to speak about serious shit here, dumbass.
Man, good old cattle dog. Good old cattle dog.
Yeah, I still hear from him.
Is he still in Arizona?
Yeah, somewhere out there.
Somewhere in the desert.
Yeah.
The mayor's in the chat.
Who?
The mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor of which county?
Billy.
Huffer Billy Paul?
Cole.
No, Billy Cole. Billy Cole does look like he would be a mayor somewhere.
Mayor of Cleveland, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's like Paris, Texas. Cleveland, Tennessee. Oh, I'm going to Cleveland
Home
next
of
month.
Little Debbie. Home of Little Debbie.
I just couldn't imagine.
I'd much rather listen to Billy Cole go on about Cleveland, Tennessee than listen to TriStar ramble on about Polk County, Tennessee.
No, it's Polk County.
Polk.
My bad. Polk County.
And how SEC
Whatever.
needs to go back to having Tulane and Georgia Tech in it.
Do what, David?
The TriStar is going to die on this hill that the SEC needs to go back to having Tulane and Georgia Tech in it.
Oh, yeah, the whole geographical thing.
Yeah, and Missouri and Arkansas need to go back to the Southwest Conference that doesn't exist anymore.
And how
That was good, BVD. I like that.
And how Oregon was money hungry and they're this and that and the third for coming to the Big Ten. And I said, bro, we had to survive. You can't be an Oregon State or a Washington State and compete.
No, I guess not. Let's see. I left out the good one.
Burgermeister.
Do what?
Billy typed in Burgermeister. Sweet prefers. I guess that's German for mayor.
What's the term for this?
Yeah, you can kiss my fucking ass.
Oh, Lord. We're all going to hell for corrupting BigTube.
Yeah. Well, he's a grown man.
It was going to happen. He got on the interwebs. Can't hide from that interwebs.
Yeah.
Well, you may be right about that.
Time out for a message from not our sponsors, but
you're watching Green Devil football on BVD TV.
I don't know why these things cut out the last second of all the stingers.
Well, that'll show you to just get a longer clip and have a second or two of dead air after it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Boys behave.
Everybody straighten up. The mayor is here.
He looks more like a judge than a mayor to me.
I got one question for BVD.
Oh, Lord.
Where were you last night?
Where was I last night? I was on my couch watching the game.
Was there too many people streaming the game, Tennessee game or something? Or you just
Billy, those late night games, man, and I'm not trying to compete with Boogie and Sports Talk Jay and all those people because I can't. So what's the point in even? Well, what's the point in even trying? You know.
See, I would never stream a game. I make enough of a fool of myself on the internet. I don't need to go streaming games.
I tell you, old Pete got worked up last night. I was switching back and forth between Roosters, Pete's, Squid Tard, Kangaroo Black, and who else? There was 6 of them I was in and out of. Just getting reactions. And holy Manetti. I should have, I wish I was good at or technologically gifted enough to be able to clip all of what I was, all of what I sampled last night and molded it into one video, because it would have been quite good. The range of emotions, the rise, it's going good, and then all of a sudden a turnover. Oh.
Did you miss me last night, Billy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sure did.
I'll try and do better next week.
Jackpot, yeah.
Oh, I thought about getting Uncle Lou's Patreon there for a while just to watch him flip the fuck out watching that Georgia-Florida game.
You Uncle Lou Patreons are worth the $10 a month. I'm not going to lie to you.
I suppose there's better things you could spend $10 on. I don't know. But there's probably worse things too.
I don't know. This is 2024. $10 don't get you much like it used to.
That's fine.
You ever been to the Philippines or Thailand?
No, but I have been to Mexico a time or two, and I went to Ireland once.
So you've seen the donkey show and the ping pong show?
Yeah, I've seen all that. Yeah, Tijuana's great.
The quarter show.
I think we've taken a turn here, BVD. You might need to get us back on track.
Some girl sat at the table and my beard disappeared. I still ain't found it.
Oh no! Oh no!
We was in let's see, Jackpot's chat a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to say his name. Was talking about picking up quarters. He goes, picking up quarters with what? And he got so embarrassed he left. My wife's coming back in. My wife, stop it. Okay, never mind. He got so embarrassed. Here's my wife.
I'll see. I'll get into those conversations in front of my wife on purpose just to get the funny looks out of her.
Nah.
We've been together 15 years. She knows what she's got at this point.
Slim's got the how can I put this? The cool rocking that Evanescence karaoke vibe going on. If you weren't there at the Slob Olympics, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
she actually stole the show.
Yeah, that's how she got into college on a choir scholarship. So she's been singing like that all of her life.
Wow. Back to Pete. Did y'all see his video this morning, State of the Fan?
I watched part of it.
He ran down every statistic except one. Clemson won in every statistic.
Except the scoreboard.
Except the scoreboard.
And I mean, I kind of get his point. Like it, because and I get where he was coming from, because that's what was getting on his nerves during the stream. And like, I get everybody knows the quarterback gets undue credit and blame, but the problem with Clemson wasn't Cade Klubnik.
No, not at all.
I mean, he was dropping some dimes on the receivers that they were just dropping.
He was dropping dimes, and they were dropping his dimes.
So
I'm very familiar with that.
Oh, sorry about that.
I was fixing to make a comparison with the Tennessee wide receiver core, but I figured I'd be nice.
No, I think we won.
Well, you did, but I mean, BVD's absolutely right. I mean, Nico would have even better numbers if his wide receiver core would hold on to something.
He was so close last night to having his first 300-yard game. Like, everybody seems to be making a big deal about, he ain't had a 300-yard game yet. Well, he's
as long as you win games, who cares?
One as a starter, I'll take that.
Well, Harry, I said this in the off season, Harry. They were putting, and not saying anybody in particular in here, but there were Tennessee fans putting just absolutely unreal expectations on him for his very first year.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I was guilty of that.
I wasn't
freshman, but we're going to have a new quarterback next year. He won't be a freshman, but he hadn't seen a lot of action.
He won't be a freshman, Harry, but he also won't be Brock Vandergriff, and y'all can be thankful for that.
Yeah.
Where's Cade going?
It's going to be Stockton, Rashada, or maybe the kid from up north. His name is
Where's Beck going?
They're going to run him. They're going to run him out of town.
It's pretty assumed that Beck's going to go ahead and graduate.
He technically could come back.
I think he is.
He can come back, and he would need to. Like, they're going to have to run him out of there, because if I was Beck, I wouldn't go to the NFL with the tape you've got right now.
Oh, not this year's tape. Hell no.
He'll be back.
Right now, if we get him back, then I feel real good about next year. But I got to see how this year plays out first, because if he keeps throwing it into the other people, it's gonna get us like it did at Bama.
Well, he's got at least one more game, and Billy will agree with this. He's got at least one more game where he needs to throw it to the other people about 3 or 4 times.
I think he needs to get his eyes checked. I think he's colorblind.
Then he can do whatever he wants.
Well, no, I think it's exactly what we were talking about earlier, and I told Mr. Legg this in the preseason that old Mario's out here playing 4D chess, because he's thinking ahead to the playoffs, and he sent one of them Cavender twins up there to throw back off of his game, and it's working.
Yep, she done messed his mind up.
Hey, Harry.
She's in the damn. Somebody spilled the beans. She comes to the games, and they actually allow the cavorting pregame. And see, I disagree with that. You got to be dialed in. And I think Kirby gonna put the cow towel on that shit here.
Allows what again?
Them to cavort, as it were. You know, even her presence in the locker room is bad.
Oh no.
And I still dispute it, but it came from a pretty good source.
No.
And I've reached out to somebody who will know, and I'll have that response probably.
Well, hey, listen, as somebody of the male persuasion, it's never a bad thing to have a pretty set of blonde twins in the locker room before a game.
But you know, his for all the bad he's done, the son of a bitch when he's on, he is on. He did throw some marvelous jump throws yesterday. That's some good catches for once. That's been safe. That drop ball syndrome has been killing us all year. God dang.
Yeah, we don't have that problem.
Well, people forget too, Harry and Lou mentioned today that he can come back next year and he can take a COVID year too, so he could be back 2 more years.
No, that COVID year was the year that Lou was talking about.
Well, here's the thing.
They're since 19. So
we're to the point now. They're giving guys 7, 8, 9 years of eligibility. I mean, he can stay there until he's got a couple of kids and a mortgage if he feels like it.
Well, if he breaks a leg, he can do who's the kid out there at Utah that's doing that shit?
If he breaks a leg or a legge, which one is it?
Hey, y'all.
Oh,
I gotta get off of here. Y'all have a good one.
David, thanks for
hanging
out, bud.
You too, Keith. I'll see y'all during the week.
All right, take care, my man.
Go Ducks. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Yeah, you're never getting a go duck out of me. Sorry.
That was a waste of $3.
What'd you do?
Huh?
What'd you do, BVD? What you did?
My little earpiece or nose piece came off and fell on the floor, and it wouldn't stick on my glasses, but the son of a bitch is stuck to the floor like super glue.
Oh no.
Yo, traveling fools.
Well, y'all haven't mentioned the fact that the most disrespectful thing I've seen today is when the AP poll come out.
Okay.
Harry, you know what I'm talking about?
Elaborate.
South Carolina ain't ranked.
Honestly, I ain't being a smartass. Does it matter?
Yeah, right.
Well, it's college football, and they have set a top 10 team. You'd think they would be ranked.
You would think.
That's my point. Why?
What's the record? What's the record?
It don't matter. They beat a top 10 team.
Well, what if they were 1-8 and they beat a top 10 team?
They need to be ranked.
No.
They go in there and see who's ranked right now at 25, 24, 23.
Well, they're not going to matter either.
Somebody wanted to say hi, BVD.
Let's see. What happened to have.
You gonna tell them hi? I guess not.
Louisville is 25th. Vanderbilt is 24th.
Well, she's still just as cute as she was in the pictures.
Oh yeah, but she'd have got a mean streak in her. That one's got all the attitude.
How old is she now?
She just turned 2 and earlier in October.
How old are the ones in the background there?
They're both 8. Yeah, they're both 8. One turned 8 in August. The other one turned 8 in the beginning of October.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it because mine turned 24 in October.
Oh yeah, like I said, that one's got a mean streak in her. She'll walk up. She's like, you ever seen those commercials for those Sour Patch Kid candies where they'll do something mean and then come back and make it better? That's what she'll do. She'll hit you and then run off and come back and give you a hug.
Yeah. Pulling on a tugging at the heart.
Yeah. Yeah, as a father of daughters, I pity you.
Yep. You don't know what you've done.
But I love my girls, so and they
Yep.
turned out to be good moms. Turned out to be great moms. As a matter of
I've
fact.
got 6 granddaughters, starting at 12 down, and I just hope the good Lord lets me live to see them at 15, 16, 17, because I want to see this. I want to see the parents handle this. Oh, they're going, oh, it ain't no problem. Yeah, right.
Shit, Billy.
Hey, one of them rides up with the guy with nose rings and earrings on the back of a motorcycle. Hey, Mom and Dad, this is me, Spike.
I'll be down.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Make your words sweet because you might have to eat them, sir.
Well,
but believe me, I am ruining. I know that's when my payback's coming. I already know it.
You can ask either one of my daughters, what was the first thing their first or their boyfriends was introduced to when they come to our house, and that was her daddy at the kitchen table cleaning one of his rifles.
Yeah.
There are no good cuss words, Hoss. What are you talking about?
Usually it was one of the AKs. So
you need to leave it that way, Squidtard. I'd hate to be raising kids nowadays.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, not trying to go off on a tangent, but I mean, you're right, Mr. Billy. We had several conversations before we finally decided to have another one, because we were definitely thinking against it, considering how the world is.
Exactly.
So how many you got that's 8-year-old?
Just the 2.
2 and then a 2-year-old. So there's a 6-year difference. That's going to be quite a gap for them when they get older, because 6 years right now we don't think is very much, but the stuff they could be into by then.
My daughters are 5 years apart.
Yeah, and I mean, there's 7 years in between me and my sister.
Well, there's about 7 states between me and my sisters, so.
Yeah, there's a few states between me and mine too. Mine, it's how I learned that lesson that you have to find a balance, because I was the wild one in my teenage years, so my mother decided to keep my sister under thumb. And then when my sister turned 18, she lost her freaking mind.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Well, I tried teaching.
Way, so.
I tried teaching after I retired from the Air Force, and senior first sergeants don't make good teachers. I'm going to ask you one time to sit down, but it's not the kids, it's the parents. When you have a parent conference and the parent tells you, I'm afraid of my kid, or I don't want to hurt their feelings, I want to be their friends, makes you want to throw up.
I completely agree with you, Mr.
Makes you want to throw up. I only did it 4 or 5 years, and I said, forget this. I ain't. No.
That's why when I got my CDL, one of my mom's friends is a bus driver. She's like, yeah, we're always looking for bus drivers. I said, well, I'm not looking to be on the 5 o'clock news for beating the hell out of one of you little bastards.
No. Every kid's got an excuse. And I probably had it. My brother and sister probably had it. But every kid's ADD, ADHD. Every kid.
No.
And it's just I don't know. I asked a parent one time because their kid couldn't sit still and everything. Said, well, he's ADD. Is he on medicine? No, we don't want him on. I said, well, how in the hell does he sit in a deer stand on Saturdays and Sundays deer hunting? Oh, God, she went off on me like,
That was a fair question.
Damn right.
That is a fair question.
Oh, I said, how do you keep him still and shut up in a deer stand for 5-6 hours?
You don't.
Well, I think everybody has that problem. I mean, listen, that's to Billy's point. Like, part of being a kid is being hyperactive and not having an attention span.
To a point.
Let me
I'm not saying totally, without restriction, but I mean, most kids just don't have an attention span. Under 10 don't have an attention span worth of crap, and they're all full of energy.
Right.
Well, what was it? For 4 years, I had regular 7th and 8th grade math classes. And then my last year, I had an advanced class. Now, for 4 years, for 6 hours a day, I had to get them, sit down, shut up, pay attention, And then you get an advanced class. They come in, open up the book. Coach Cole, what concept are we learning today, Coach? And I'm thinking, there is a difference. There is a difference. And it's when you teach and you get an advanced kids class, and then you have to deal with, knuckleheads all day. And a public school system, all it is now is a nursery. It's a nursery.
Yeah,
I hate saying that, but it's a.
It's a fact.
And here in Cleveland, there's factories and industries and stuff, and you can't paddle kids and stuff, but and fine, I don't want nobody touching my kid, and I sure wouldn't touch nobody else's kid. But when you call mom and dad and they've got to clock out at the factory to come get you, oh, there's going to be an ass beating.
Well,
it's going to be an ass beating.
Well, see, that's where we disagree. I think they should get one in school, and then you're getting another one when you get home.
No,
that's the way it was when I was in school.
Me too. I would never think of touching somebody. I went to a.
So you're not a fan of corporal punishment, Billy?
No, and I'll tell you why not. It doesn't work. I went to Tennessee Wesleyan up here and studied under a guy that had a doctorate and all this other stuff. And we was talking about that one day, and he kind of got emotional. He said, I've had y'all for 4 years, and I think I've taught y'all more enough than you'd have to hit some kid for discipline. I thought I've taught y'all better than that. And I never have forgotten that. So if you got to resort to that, you've wasted $40,000, $50,000 coming here to study. So nowadays, what do? Give me electronics. Now this timeout bullshit, I don't want to offend nobody, but like my mom used to say, she see these young parents, I'm going to count to 3, mom, go 1, 2, 3. Now what are you going to do? They, 1, 2, 3. Now what? No.
I can't stand those. And it's mostly women. No offense to women, but
I'm going to put you in timeout.
You'll see them in Walmart. Little Billy, 1.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Then what? You never get to 2.
All right.
So what's the point of counting to 1?
Yeah. No.
My ex-wife, God bless her, and I love her still to this day. She never made it out of 1. It was always 1. And I used to tease her. I'd say, then what?
Exactly.
And nothing.
Oh, it's just like when you was little. Remember, you was driving with your dad, and he was in the car in the back seat. And you was acting up. Don't make me pull this car over.
Oh, dude, my dad didn't pull over, Billy. He just backhanded you right then and there.
I was about to say, my grandmother kept a fly swatter on the front seat so she could reach us in the back seat.
If he made contact, that was just bonus,
Well, I always wanted to say, and I never did, but I told him later in life, we'll pull the damn car over, old man. Let's go. Don't make me pull this car. We'll pull it over. Pull it over. I don't know. To each their own, but when parents not always want to be the kid's friend. I want to be their friend, and I don't want to hurt their emotional state. Get this shit out of here.
Because she gave me my daughter, turd. That's why. I got a extinct or distinct or one of them inked feelings that you can relate to that house. Just because you're not married to somebody anymore don't mean you don't care for them or about them or, you know.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah. SEC football. Yep, I'm a graduate of the Hickory School of Learning.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
See, I'm all about letting the kids make mistakes, though. Like, I'm not one. You want to stick something metal on a light socket? Go ahead. I bet you won't do it again.
Yeah. Well, having, I guess, a little insight, I always, especially my sons, I tried to prepare them for life. And my daughter, the oldest son's retired Air Force and still works for the Air Force. And my daughter's a major in the Air Force. And, and I taught them nobody owes you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. I don't owe you nothing. You get what you get in life. You make X amount of money, and this is what you get. If you spend more than you make, then nobody should have to tell you you messed up. Don't call me either. I ain't raising your kids. I ain't adding on to the garage.
Damn. Captain Badass.
It worked. People do what they can get away with.
Well,
what's up, catalog?
Sure, there are circumstances. Yeah. But if you think I'm paying for your mistakes, you got another thought of coming. Just like I told my daughter.
That's where
you get pregnant at 15. You better had a gun to your head or knife to your throat, young lady, because there's only one person responsible for your panties, and that's you. That's you. And now she's got $2, and we went round and round when she was 14, 15, 16. She says, I understand now, Dad. Yeah, because her daughters are teenagers now. So welcome to the real world.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's where you got a point. I do agree with you, Mr. Billy. People will get away with what you let them.
Yep.
Because I've got a couple of my stepdad's brothers and sisters in their 50s still living at home with their parents.
Oh hell no.
Because they let them.
Yep.
I know one person that's going to be like that. Not saying names.
Uh-oh.
No.
Why did that draw an uh-oh, Slim?
I may know who you're talking about.
I guarantee you do. We'll just move it on move on along from right there.
See, I've had to deal with that in reverse though. We had been in this house. We had bought our house. We hadn't been in here 6 months. My mom moved in with us, and I was like,
That's
"No,
different,
this ain't gonna."
It was probably for some particular extending search situation.
Extenuating circumstance? No, there were no extenuating circumstances.
Not really that, but
I get what you're saying. Listen,
yeah.
I love my mother. I agree with you. I've never not taken her call or done something when she asked me to. But I'm not going to call a duck a goose. My mom was as lazy as the day is long.
Damn.
I mean, it is what it is.
So is it safe to say you won't be hugging your mom or daddy tonight?
No, I didn't. No, I mean, she lives across town, but we still live in the same town. She needed somebody to pick her up and take her to go pick up her car, and at my first availability, I did.
Exactly.
Well, as soon as I get done eating the rest of this chocolate cream pie, Mom, I'll be over there to get you. Just tell the bondsman to hang on a little bit longer.
I don't have any problem helping those that are trying to help themselves, but if you think you're going to go through life screwing up and me pay for it? No, hell no.
Well, and see, Mr. Billy, that's exactly what it was, and that's exactly what I told her. I
I
said,
ain't doing it.
it's my job to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself, not
Yeah.
when you don't want to.
Yeah.
You're tuned in to Hard Life Lessons, brought to you by
Well,
Billy Cole.
it's not that hard. I walked out of the door in August of '74 with $7 and change in my pocket. And I've never asked my dad or parents for a dime. They never had to pay a car payment. I would cut my arm off before I call my dad and say, you know, I've just been irresponsible. I don't have any money this month. What the hell? No. Everybody's different. That's just me. And no.
You got $5 I can borrow, Billy?
I got a little.
My dad was non-communicado because he was non-available.
Oh, okay. That's
And
different.
he was still a good guy. I mean, he just wasn't there for me or my brother, whether we needed him or not. I mean, he just wasn't there.
I know what that's like too, BVD. I ain't never met my dad. I can't tell you his name. Can't tell you what he looks like.
Well, I mean, I met my dad. I knew my dad, and my dad was a good guy. He just,
Wasn't a good dad.
not to me, he wasn't. Not to my brother, he wasn't. Now I may or may not have some family members that see this that would get mad at me and disagree, but I'm sorry. The facts are the facts.
You feel the way you feel.
Yeah.
Hey.
And nothing I could do about it back then. I told my dad when I think I was 18, was working my first real job, and I was sitting there at lunch on my lunch break thinking about him. And I said, you know what? I'm going to call Dad. And I went to back then, of course, I'm old like Billy and Harry, and phone books and phone booths were a thing. And so I went to the little convenience store next door and called my dad up. And as soon as he said hello, I said, you know what, Dad? You were a shitty dad.
Hmm?
And I explained to him why I thought that. And after it was over, he said, son, I'm sorry. I wish I'd done better. And I was like, okay, that was the end of it. And
yeah, I don't get it for me either.
Do what?
That wouldn't have got it for me either. I'm sorry. No.
What do you mean?
Him saying he was sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, what was I going to do? I didn't call to start an argument.
Yeah.
I figured I knew I was going to get an excuse, Billy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I never got from my mom. She was there. She was there for me till the last day she took her last breath, and she was on a ventilator. So, given the life she had, I think she did a great job playing mom and dad. She had to call my dad to remind him that your son's 12 today, your son's 15, whatever. You might want to give him a call. Oh, hell, I forgot. I mean,
well, you've known me for long enough. That's
living 2 states away is no excuse, is it?
Nope. I'm a black and white person. And my sisters told me everything's not black and white. Yes, it is. When you get down to it, it's black and white. When you get down to it, there's no gray area. That's just me. That stop sign doesn't say easy, just slow down and roll through it. No, it says stop. That's why you get a ticket for rolling stop. Well, I was just doing. That's just like me with football. If Tennessee loses, you will never hear me make an excuse. That's your team. You got 85 players. If your starting quarterback went out and you got a freshman, that's your team. That's what your coach recruited. That's what he's got. And the fact you have no depth, that's not an excuse. That's a fact. That's a fact. You need to do better at recruiting and stuff. I mean, getting it back to college. But that's the way I look at it. Hey, we got what? Tennessee's got 4 quarterbacks sitting on the bench. If Nico is messing up, then next man up. I mean, he's got to be there for a reason. Hypo brought him there for a reason, for some reason. That's just like Kirby at Georgia. He's probably got 3 or 4 quarterbacks sitting over there. He brought him there for a reason. Beck don't perform, sit down. Next man.
That's a fact right there, Tom. Oh, being overprotective, sheltering your kids, not in my opinion, not a good look.
Yeah, sadly, my oldest daughter's a helicopter mom.
It's not. It don't help them.
You know, look, we're all different. We were all raised different. We all raised our kids different than each other. I'm not here to try and tell anybody they're doing a good job or a bad job.
No, not at all.
You just do what you do. And
Yeah, well, it's like many things. There's more than one right way to do it.
well, that's why, Slim, I've never got on here and made excuses for my screw ups. I've owned them, and you know that's all you can do. It's all I can do.
Yeah.
No, I'm very much the same way. I mean, you know me. Whatever position I found myself in. I mean, luckily more good than bad. But if they were bad, I put myself in that position. I made the decision to be in that position, or that led me to be in that position. It is what it is. It ain't because I had a rough childhood or whatever.
Yeah.
Your work is done for the night, Bench Bar.
Well, that's just like me. When you work I can just relate. When you work in the Air Force and these kids, you know, people, well, they're just 18. They're not. No. If you get a DUI, you're kicked out. You're gone, period. And the higher the rank you are, the quicker you're gone because you should have been better. So now in the Air Force, if you get a DUI, you get kicked out. You get sent back home and you get your job, ask them, would you like fries? And see, your hands are tied as a supervisor and stuff. That's just the way it is. If you piss positive one time, you're gone. No questions asked. And they know this, but it still happens. I had to kick 2 or 3 kids out last couple of years. I didn't feel bad either. They knew better. You knew better.
Dem's facts.
Hey, you don't want, you're in the Air Force. You don't want, I don't know if their job assignments or anything like that, but we can't have drug addicts messing around with aircraft and shit like that.
You can do drugs working down here at the chair factory, but you can't do it working on an F-22 or F-35. I'm sorry. That's just the way of the world. And once you've been told, I don't understand why people can't understand. The rule's the rule. That's the rule. Whether you like it or not, I don't care. You don't get a choice. That's the
rules are rules.
But much like football, everybody wants to make an excuse for why it didn't turn out the way they wanted to.
Exactly.
And that's something else too that I think gets overlooked a lot. You can make every right decision in life. That doesn't mean you're going to end up with the outcome that you were planning on. Because simple fact of life just ain't fair.
No,
don't
it's
give
not.
2 shits.
No.
It comes at you. You can't prepare.
Are you listening to this, Rama Jamma Taylor? Rama Jamma Taylor, you still with us?
I think he nodded off.
Yeah. Well, I got 3 kids, and then I probably spanked them altogether maybe 4 or 5 times in my life when they were little. But older.
I'm sorry, my mic was muted.
Yeah,
I'm
older.
listening.
They had a long leash, but they knew I'd jerk the crap out of it too. They messed up.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like you in that sense. I believe in corporal punishment, but I don't use it excessively.
No.
Well, since we're already going to run over tonight, let's turn this into a small debate. And I'm not trying to get anybody mad at each other.
Oh, no.
But Slim and Billy, you have a difference of opinion on corporal punishment. Lay it out there. What's your main difference or your argument for or against it? Go with Slim first.
Billy made the comment that he doesn't think it's very effective. I do. But also kind of to his, I don't think we're actually that far apart. Like,
No.
it's not something I use very, like, Joey's probably the worst one of them because he legitimately does have some problems. But what I end up doing more so with him, especially because boys are really hard headed. Boys are very different than girls. Girls, you don't have to very often. Girls, for some reason, when they're young, the message seems to get through with a time or two. But what I did with Joe is I found something that he just hated. He hates doing push-ups. Yeah. So I'm not going for my belt first time. First time, he's up to the point now, he's getting 100 push-ups.
There you go. And what you're talking about is something I paid $40,000-$50,000 child psychology learned that it's called behavior conditioning. And you said the very words. You find something they like, and then you take it away from them. I think all of us can think back. My parents didn't spare the belt or the rod, and I can think back now the times that I got spankings and stuff. It didn't change nothing. And that's the question. If spankings work, then you should never have to give another spanking, should you?
There you go.
Well, I mean, yes, they can work, but I mean, when they're little, kids are impulsive. I mean, it's just a fact of being a kid.
Right. All right. But that's just like the recidivism rate for prison is over 90%. It don't work. No. It don't work.
Well, that's because prison also isn't punishment anymore. It used to work.
Yeah, it don't work.
Why did it used to work? What's the difference between prison 60, 70 years ago and prison today? Well, that's something I can speak to because I've dealt with it directly. I've been a CO in a prison. Yeah. It's not punishment anymore.
Yeah. But you're on the right track, Slim. You said the magic words. I found something that he likes. So, you can do it with electronics. Nowadays, all the kids have got their thumbs going. Take that away from them.
Well, we didn't start that anyway. They really don't have that.
Yeah, but
pencil and paper.
But you got coloring books and crayons. You've got dolls or action figures, whatever, like what I had. Yeah. And plus, I've got an acre of land and room for you to run. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
There you go.
But after that, professor said that day, he said, I think I've taught y'all better enough that you would have to hit somebody to discipline. And I wouldn't think of hitting anybody else's child, spanking them at school. That's not what kids come to school for. I would never touch somebody else's child. Now, as the basketball coach, I've had a couple that I've met in the morning when they got off the bus because the previous day, the teachers called me and said, such and such was a discipline problem today. And I would tell them, meet me in the gym in the morning, dress out at 7 when you get off the bus. And after about 30 minutes of doing wind sprints and they're all lathered up, don't let another teacher call me about your disciplinary problems in the classroom. Do you understand me? Yes, Coach Cole.
Up downs are effective.
Don't let this go. Don't let this happen again. Because next time I'm taking your uniform. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Get to class.
I want to leave y'all with one last football thing. Did anybody else see the video clip of the Jacksonville police beating the living crap out of some fans at the Georgia-Florida game Saturday?
Yeah, I saw that.
No.
I'm sure that's available, right?
Colin on YouTube is Colin Rugg, R-U-G-G.
Wait a minute. Wait. Say it again, Harry.
Colin Rugg on Twitter.
Fuck, I can't hear, man. Colin, spell it for me. I'm retarded.
Collin.
Collins?
No,
Collins
no
what?
S. Collin. Collin.
Okay.
Last name Rugg. Rugg.
Okay.
And that's his. That's what shows up on Twitter anyway. Not that I would ordinarily not be able to see unless somebody else shared it. So.
Well, I was trying to find something on YouTube.
Oh, it's probably been shared on YouTube because I guarantee you, man, one cop was wailing on this old fella.
And was that the Georgia-Florida game?
Well, listen, there's context to that too, and I saw somebody took the time to type out on Twitter some of the context to it. The older guy that cop was hitting, the cops were breaking up a fight between the two that they were struggling with, and the cop that was hitting that older guy had cold cocked that cop right in the jaw.
Whoa!
So hey, listen, you haul off and hit a cop, I got no sympathy for you when you turn around and catch an ass whooping for it.
Oh no, absolutely not.
And on that note, if you ever come through Polk County and get a ticket, just say yes sir, 3 bags full, and then you won't get your head split open. But if you spit at the cop or curse him over here in Polk County Sheriff's Department, I guarantee you'll be going to the emergency room wanting stitches.
I would wager a bet that would be just about any sheriff's department up in this part of the country.
Well, up in the mountains here, when there's nothing around,
yeah,
that's not a good thing to do.
Yeah, they can send you to the train station real quick.
We don't even have a train station.
The Amtrak ain't been through there in 40 years.
No. You must not have caught the reference, Billy.
Oh yeah, okay.
I did. You didn't slip that one by me, sir.
No.
But when you think about this here again, and this is another subject, over the past 25 years, all these cop things, just think if they would have just got out of the car or done what the cop told them to do, they'd be alive today. That's all you got to do. Just do what the man tells you to do.
You see these videos on YouTube.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit because not everything a cop tells you to do, he is legal for him to tell you to do. It's just not. Now, that being said, you're also not going to win that fight out there on the side of the road.
No, you're going to lose every time, and it's not worth it's not worth the martyrdom that you think you're going to get.
So you're much better off trying to win that fight in that courtroom.
Absolutely.
Just now that everybody's got a phone, you call 911, and if you're being blue lighted, say, "Hey, I'm on Highway 64 traveling east. Is this a legitimate cop that's calling?" Yes, it is. And then you pull over and do what they tell you to do. Get out of the car, put your hands on the. That's all you got to do. It's all you got to do.
I won't stop for an unmarked car. I got blue lighted 3 weeks ago, coming back to the house with my daughters, and dude lit me up as we were coming into the city limits of McDonough, and I just kept going. And he pulls up beside me when we come to the stop sign before the square, and rolled his window down and says, "You're supposed to pull over, son." I said, "You're my son. Now, you got no markings on this car. What is the purpose? Go get a marked unit. If I've committed a driving violation, you got film of it?" No. I said, "Have a good day."
Yeah.
And pissed him off. I called my buddy on the police force, and I talked with him for a minute or two. I said, "I don't know who that fucker was, but
yeah,
you know me." And he says, "Yep, we don't need to go to court. That's fact."
Yeah.
Be the last thing you want to do. I
But
get real rich right fast.
You know what I'm talking about is these landmark things you've seen on TV for the past 30, 40 years. All these cases that it's situations that's been on TV. Just pull over. You know?
That's fair enough.
And if it's Harry's case is different, but just like my daughter, I always told her, you get blue lighted and stuff, and you're out in the country, you call 911 and ask them, is this a legitimate cop behind me? Or you get into town, or you get to a lighted area, or you get someplace where you can pull in, or you tell them at 911, I'll pull in at the next service station, whatever, up the road, but I'm not pulling off.
Yeah, which, by the way, is perfectly legal to do. Now, you also, something that they're supposed to know, put on your hazard lights, and they know that they're supposed to know that you're trying to get to a populated area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you do diligence, then you'll get treated. You know, if you did something wrong, then you'll get your ticket, and that'll be the end of it.
Because we've actually had that problem here. This was probably pushing 20 years ago, and my wife actually thinks that she got stopped by him once. There was a guy that had got some blue lights and put them on the dash of a Crown Vic, but he wasn't a cop.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when I retired and come back home, the Polk County sheriff over here, I went to school with, and I was in the process of getting hired as a coach over here in Polk County, by the way. He said, I got a job. He said, I'll get you on the sheriff's department. I said, Lou, I wouldn't last 5 days because I ain't putting up with your mouth. I ain't, no. And you're ignorant. You don't have a gun. I got a gun and a taser, and you're going to sit there and spit and run your mouth? Well, first of all, I ain't wrestling with you. I see these cops on TV wrestling and stuff. Oh, hell no. You got a taser. Tase them. That's what it's for. If you think I'm wrestling with you on the ground and stuff, that ain't happening.
Well, and
that ain't happening.
And see, that's why we would see Billy Cole locked in handcuffs on the 5 o'clock news because, I mean, what do they call it? Use of force continuum. They have to escalate it to the point of you using the taser. You can't just use the taser.
Yeah.
Oh, no. What I'm saying, you didn't hear me. I'm not wrestling with you. Give me your hands. If you're going to resist arrest, we can just keep adding up the charges. Now I got you for resisting arrest, and no, I am not wrestling with somebody. Get in the car. No, I'm not getting in the car. Get in the car. I'm not getting in the car. Yes, you are. See this taser? You're getting in the car.
Or on the ground.
I don't understand why people want to challenge somebody that's got a loaded gun, a nightstick, a taser, and they want to get mouthy. I don't understand that.
Well, and here's the thing though, mouthy, you just got to learn to let that go. And see that, like for me, that's easy. You can say whatever you want to me. You put hands on me, then it's a whole different scenario.
Yeah.
But you can say whatever you want to me. I could just sit there and laugh in your face at that.
My brother he retired from TVA 20-some years, and then he was over here Polk County deputy sheriff for several years. He'd pull somebody, he never gave a ticket. He'd always just say, you need to slow down. But
what's with that, Wayne? What's with these people that thinks they can get away with that? I mean, you have to know you're not going to get away with it.
All right.
You're not.
They sure get treated well when they get caught.
Yeah, I mean that's we were talking about that a few minutes ago. Prison is not punishment anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in there's got cable TV, got a 3,000 calorie a day diet. They don't have to work if they don't want to. They don't have to go to school if they don't want to. Anytime you hurt their feelings, they're filing a lawsuit against the CO.
I've never understood how you could get a college degree in prison.
Yeah, it's crazy. It
Online
happens all the time.
Online courses.
I don't understand that. You ain't getting no computer.
You don't have.
Oh yeah, there are all kinds of computers in a prison. What are you talking about? I mean, they've even got to the point they're not even they're not supposed to have cell phones, but they're not taking them away from them anymore.
Oh yeah, there's cell phone uses.
No.
I watch all the cop shows and all that shit, man. Cell phones getting in all the time. You got COs bringing them in, Billy. COs bringing them in.
Sure did. Somebody I went to the academy with, his first day off of on-the-job training, got caught trying to smuggle in a pound of loose leaf tobacco.
Oh, Lordy.
Because a pack of cigarettes in a prison was going for $80, and that was
fucking beyond ridiculous, even in prison.
hell. You're talking about that was back in somewhere around 2010, 11, right in there.
Well, in 1975, 76, I sold a can of Coke for $1.50 on the destroyer. I was on that ship because it wasn't soda machines and stuff, but I was able to, I had a way to get them on board ship. A can of Coke went for $1.50 back in 1975.
Well, they banned smoking in state prisons in 07, so of course that became the hot commodity to bring in.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be getting anything. Nothing.
I went to high school with a guy that was on the destroyer for 4 tours out in the Far East and the Mediterranean, and he was an entrepreneur as well while he was on board.
I was too.
He brought back stuff that would blow your mind.
I seen people. We went to South America for 7 months. We went through the Panama Canal, went all the way around and back up. And our last stop was in Cartagena, Colombia for a week and a half. I seen guys become almost millionaires once they got back in the States. Damn. Nobody checks what's on a destroyer coming back into port.
Hey, they don't check what's coming from bases back over either. I got one of my stepdad's older brothers brought back a pound of hash, a disassembled MP5, and a couple of gas masks when he was stationed in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Well, I made more money a month. Well, August, go ahead and say I was a loan shark. 20 for 20.
Woo!
I made more money a month loaning out money than I did mine. I'm just like a bank. I'm just like a bank. Don't make me ask me for my money either. On payday, you need to come see me and pay your bill.
I'll come see you.
Yeah, I could see Billy Cole walking around the ship with a baseball bat, threatening to break people's kneecaps.
I had one guy that was new, a black guy. He got him. He said, "What if I don't pay you?" I said, "You don't want to go down that road."
Billy Cole be that guy. Hey, it's Friday. Give me my fucking honey bun.
No, I didn't. And it was never no problem because they wanted money in the future too. You know, when you get overseas and you're been out 2 or 3 months and you're married with 5 kids and you ain't got no money and you want to go downtown and get a steak, I'll help you out. I'll help you out.
Well, I think
I'll just wait till I got the money. I don't need to be paying them interest rates.
Well, I think we've covered about everything here, guys, tonight. What do you think?
I think the AP poll still disrespected South Carolina. I'm right, my congressman.
Right.
I think it's your world, boss, and I just live in it.
I'm just a squirrel trying to find a nut.
Exactly.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. I think that's going to be that's going to really explode here in the next few days.
What's that?
The squirrel execution. Peanut the squirrel.
Yeah, but justice for and Fred the raccoon. Don't forget Fred the trash panda.
Yeah, Fred the raccoon too. Yeah. How does a squirrel that's been fully domesticated since it was itty bitty, never been outside, going to contract rabies? Squirrels don't get rabies.
Y'all have lost me.
Somebody in New York.
I know, Wayne. I know they got green money in there. I know.
The story is that some gal on Instagram is the one that doxed the guy to the New York authorities because she was jealous that the squirrel had more followers, because he had like 35 million between all platforms, and dude was doing well, you know. they ran a rescue for wild animals, and up there somewhere up there in upstate New York. And damn if they didn't take like an army of agents up there and warrants and everything else, and just ruin those folks' lives, all because of the boxing.
Lord have mercy. Well, boys, it's gonna wrap it up for a Sunday night. Hey, look, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in here and giving us.
I don't want to leave.
Well, I can fix that problem.
Damn.
Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you Tuesday night. We'll be back here doing the same thing if y'all want to come share in the mayhem.
Go Vols, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Roll
Seven
Tide.
and 1. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
No, roll Todd. Later,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
Later.
Ah, yes, another thrilling, invigorating, thought-provoking edition of Sunday Night Live. Hey, you guys are great. Love you, made it. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate you guys. Love you, mean it. You know you got to hug your mom and daddy. And go Vols, screw y'alls.